Hi, Gemini Collective. Welcome back to New World Angel. Today we're going to do your first half of 2026 sign readings. So, to kick us off, we're going to start off reading for the zodiacal 2026. So, we have Aries here denoting April, Taurus for May, Gemini for June, Cancer for July, Leo for August, and then we will end off with Virgo for September. Okay, I'm going to pull 3 cards for each of them. And I'm asking my spirit guides to make this one continuous storyline for the Gemini Collective. So what's going to be most helpful for our Geminis to hear and what they're dealing with. And as I have mentioned before, don't try to make anything fit if it doesn't resonate with you. Although some of these messages might actually resonate with you closer towards the end of this timeline. So you might find that if you come back in September and you re-review this message, that things will hit differently, or they might hit for you where they didn't before. If the message for whatever reason doesn't resonate with you, check out your moon and rising signs, and you can do that by getting a free birth chart reading. You need to know where you were born and the exact time of birth to get that reading. But you can find out what your moon and rising signs are that way. Sometimes you might find that those signs will resonate with you. Those messages will resonate with you better than your actual sun sign. So I definitely encourage you to not only re-review at the end of this timeline, but also look at your other signs as well. And hopefully you will pick up a message in here that is helpful to you. And what else? I feel like that is it for right now. Yeah, not all messages within a reading are going to resonate either. So sort of keep that in mind. It goes hand in hand with not forcing anything. But where we're going to start off with is the Philosopher's deck right here. I want this to be a message that you guys can come back to at any point in the next 6 months or so that kind of brings you back to this reading today. So it resonates with you in a way that kind of returns you back to what I've said today. You can journal on these messages. Certainly, that's a good way to reflect. So write this down and journal on it if you feel so inclined. I know my Geminis, we're all about communication. I'm a Gemini sun. All about communication, higher knowledge, patterns even. Yeah, so I think it'll be helpful for you. You can go about this in like an experimental sort of way. I know you guys love to just sort of explore and create in new, different ways. So that might be fun for you. You might pick up messages in your own journaling experience that resonate with you in ways that you didn't anticipate months from now. So you could feel one sort of way, and then once you're halfway through, you re-review that and you feel something completely different. I don't know. Test it out for yourself. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Maybe you're testing something out. I don't know. But anyway, okay, let's see what the Philosopher's deck has to say for our dear Gemini Collective. For the first half of 2026, what's a good message for them? Pleasures, when they go beyond a certain limit, are but punishments. Pleasures, when they go beyond a certain limit, are but punishments. Yeah, I get this as overindulgence, overindulgence in what can be considered a good thing can turn into not a good thing. Maybe you're hyper-fixated on something. Ooh, that's a good card I need to write down. Hyper-fixation. Hold on, let me write that down. Sorry, I could have paused, but when these things come to me, you just kind of have to go for it. Maybe you're dealing with, hyperfixation in some sort of way. But anyway, keep this in mind. Pleasures, when they go beyond a certain limit, whatever that limit may be, are but punishments. Too much of a good thing or bad thing, depending on what your pleasures are. Interesting. Okay, what deck do you want me to use for Geminis for the first 3 months? Okay, here we go. I am so excited. My fellow Gemini, Ash, from the Morbid podcast, her and Elena have developed a tarot deck, a customized tarot deck, and I pre-ordered it months ago before Christmas, and it comes out in March, and I am so excited for it. Why I was thinking about that, I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, if you're into the Morbid podcast, and obviously you're into tarot if you're watching me, just know that they have a customized tarot deck that is to be released, I believe, right around the Zodiacal New Year. So end of March, April. Pre-order. If you still can. I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a couple months. But all right, what's going on for Gemini in April? And we do want this to be a continuous storyline throughout the 6 months so that we can hopefully get to the bottom of it and see growth and movement. Maybe we'll get into the pleasures. We'll see. We'll see what comes out. All right, we're dealing with April. Gemini, April. We got Judgment, King of Swords. Law enforcement? Rendering a judgment? Maybe you're dealing with something in the legal system. Gemini, April. Ooh, Nine of Pentacles. Single, self-sufficient, successful, taking care of yourself. Maybe you're getting really hyper fixated on like a new self-care routine. Maybe you're prone to going overboard too with certain things. But we love that energy in April. I mean, you're grounded. You know what you're working on. You know what you enjoy. You're just enjoying. You're enjoying the momentum. That's what I get, momentum. With the Nine of Pentacles and you being single, possibly overworking yourself. And I only say that because, like, being single and successful, I mean, you have 9 pentacles. You're one away from the 10. Maybe you just really love what you do, but when they go beyond a certain limit, they can become punishments. So there's a need to ground yourself with that, like temper your want, for success. Or when success does find you, the want to go overboard on that, it just seems very prevalent in April. Okay, but either way, it's great energy. Maybe birds are significant. Lots of messages, lots of communication. What else for Gemini in April? Nine of Pentacles. What are you working on? That's what I want to know. And this is day to day too, so keeping in mind, like, it's not all about work. It's all about self-care and work, a balancing of that. King of Wands. Yeah, you're fiery. Oh my gosh, in April, you are all jazzed up. You're charismatic. You are an entrepreneur. You're essentially like fire embodied, or at least like you come into communication with somebody who is equally as passionate as you are, possibly about their own work or what you are doing. But either way, you embody this king. The red cloak denotes that he is fiery, he is passionate, he does go after what he wants. Oh my God. Beautiful fucking energy for April. Creativity. Sunshine. Doing what you love. Stepping into the spotlight. Being noticed. You're just happy. You are so incredibly, oh my God, this is a beautiful, beautiful energy. Whether you come into collaborations with this gentleman or somebody who embodies like an entrepreneurial just way about them, it makes you happy. And it's like the ideas can be bounced off of one another. Fire and earth together are a great combo. We love that in April. What a way to kick off the new year. And I remember I even did a reading on my last channel last April. And I made a note that like as soon as Aries season kicked off, things just took off. So maybe, that's happening again, certainly in your world. But whatever the case may be, whatever happens prior to April, you're still like, you're doing the damn thing and you're like super stoked about it. That's great energy right there. There is going to be a want, yeah. So with the King of Wands, you are going to want the ability to overwork yourself because you love what you do needs to be tempered, needs to be grounded. You need to keep in mind self-care, self-love, eating right, sleeping enough, working out, just doing the day-to-day things that you need to get done for yourself and not just like working all the time. But either way, that's great. Okay, so as we go into May, what can our Geminis expect? Yeah, lots of creativity and happiness about what you're doing in April. Ooh, this one came up. Four of Cups. Okay. Hopefully you're not like working yourself too much, remember. Or at least like elements of maybe just like what you've come through, or like how you got to where you are. Maybe you had to go through a lot emotionally and bring yourself out of that. But Four of Cups to the Queen of Wands. There's somebody in the picture here, this Queen of Wands. This is not, well, you had King of Wands. Hold on. Let's see what the next card is. Something brings your energy slightly down, or at least the focus almost shifts into some aspect of either your femininity or a third party. Initially, I got third party, but yeah, maybe you're approached with some sort of conversation in May by a by this fire sign. It could be Aquarius, Leo, or excuse me, Aries, Leo, Sag, but more so, there's somebody who's just feeling on the outskirts. And for whatever reason, you are having to, like, it's on your mind. It's weighing on your mind. And I don't plan on clarifying anything, but if we aren't talking about a third party, then there is some, maybe the softer side of you, right? The self-care, because you work your ass off in April. Come May, maybe you're a little bit drained emotionally to where you know you need to invest more in yourself in order to, release the more feminine aspects of you. And you're juggling that in May. Maybe it's time for a little vacation. I don't know. Let's see what June brings. But yeah, it's not like bad energy. There's just an element of like balancing. Taking the time to have a better understanding of what you need to invest in. Like there's a slight pivot here. All right, so what can Gemini expect in June? Their birthday month, solar return. June. Hierophant. Okay. Possibly, this is ownership. Also can be in relation to home, Cancer energy, but it's a higher level of understanding, either by way of a community that you are involved with, or just how you are receiving the messages. Let me see. Queen of Swords. Oh, you're getting a better understanding. Remember I said in the beginning, before we even got into this, that it was like judgment. I can't remember the other card, but definitely like a legal matter. I think you get a greater understanding of the legal matter and the judgment that was rendered come June. And there is a need, possibly regarding a child too. Man, I really wish I could clarify this. But yeah, in June, you just get a greater understanding of a judgment that gives you the opportunity to speak your truth while also having compassion not only for you but for yourself. So maybe things actually kick off in May, and then come June it is resolved, and the need to still like have a level of compassion and empathy is what I get. I don't know. You get some downloads though. You're gonna get some sort of divine, like communication from spirit, your guides, whatever. You will get communication in June, clarity, a higher level of understanding that then is going to trigger something within you. And what spirit is trying to say is that there is a need to be compassionate, like have grace for yourself. Possibly a level of forgiveness for others too, in a way that challenges you. This is one continuous storyline too. So maybe you're just like gung-ho with work and collaborations, like you're so super happy, and then something happens come May and June. Like it's you're pivoting from work, and it turns more it turns less away from work and more into the heart space, based on whatever communication is coming your way. All right, let's see what July brings then. Full energy, new beginning. What's going on for Geminis in June regarding this situation? Yeah, but somebody in like, possibly within your work situation, like a decision maker, somebody that people look up to and they feel as though they are a mentor. Perhaps negotiations? Renegotiation of a contract? Some level of negotiation though. And you kind of get a greater idea of like where this person is coming from in relation to you. But yeah, renegotiation of contract. Maybe that starts around April, May. And like the initial conversations around the contract don't necessarily go your way, and you're having to balance things out. And come June, maybe that is resolved. Whoops. I have my child's like train set underneath here. I just kicked it. Okay. We're going into July for Gemini. What's going on in July for Gemini? Death, rebirth, starting anew in some sort of way. I don't know, we'll see. Four of Cups, something having to do with the past. I kind of feel like, is there anything I could have done differently? Could the outcome have changed had I done something differently in the past? That's sort of the feeling. What's going on in July for Gemini here? Prince of Swords. Okay, so Prince of Swords is not the most action-oriented until he gets all the facts. And I feel like you are learning a lot of new things. Prince of Swords is very cunning, innovative, smart, incredibly smart, moves fast when they need to, but for the most part, they sort of gauge, they get a really good understanding of what's going on around them before they say what they need to say or before they move forward. So you're kind of like just taking it all in, like taking things as they come. Whatever it is, you're learning something. You're getting a lot of downloads. You're seeing something play out directly in front of you. Six of Cups regarding the past. Yeah, remember what I was saying? Like, is there anything I could have done differently? Like, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Not in a bad way. I think you're just sort of reflecting on that and seeing like the transgression of actions from the past, seeing that play out. So yeah, if it is like a contract negotiation or starting a new job or generally just finding yourself sort of like in a new world order, there's a lot of reflection. Eight of Pentacles. But then you quickly get back to work. Like you become head down. So yeah, it's like you're just plugging along. Things get uprooted. Information, you are made aware of certain things and you're starting to see like how things are playing out in front of you. And it's allowing you to, I feel like you're just head down, focused on your work by the end of July. All the while keeping an eye on those relationships of the past, possibly family members, and just the work that was done. Like who played a role in what? Okay. Lots of nostalgia though. Like nostalgia, reminiscence. What's going on for Gemini in August regarding this storyline? So they get back to work, they're focused, head down. Meanwhile, like having a really good perception of what's going on around them, especially regarding family and or relationships of the past. Maybe even contracts of the past too. Things are just playing out. Maybe like the seeds that you have sown in the past are now starting to play out this summer. And you're just kind of seeing where the cards fall. We're in August now. What's going on for Gemini in August? Four of Wands. Stability. Using your gifts or your work as a place of, it's how you center and ground yourself. Also your foundation too. Like maybe your foundation is changing. Not changing like industries completely. I don't necessarily get that. It's not like a big uprooting, although it could be because death was on the split. That could be a rebirth. But I more so get like you just feel really firm and stable and balanced and comfortable and confident. Like, look, possibly even dancing could be like a thing, but like you feel really free and like free enough to, and being outside too. Getting sunshine. There's a lot of yellow around. Maybe you take a trip. There's also pyramids here. So I get like wherever you are in August, and granted it is summer in the northern hemisphere, and so things will likely be like hot. But I get like possible travel overseas, maybe? Something takes root in August. I love this energy. It's very stable, very comfortable, confident. It's a part of your foundation that you're building going forward. And it just makes you feel so free and like alive, happy. The Hierophant, again, looking directly at this. So somebody in some sort of like spiritual community, church, whatever you belong to, or whomever like you're working for is watching this. Like they are, and possibly even like your spirit guides, angels, ancestors, they're seeing this balancing. They're seeing how things are also playing out for you. And you are too. I think you get a greater sense of like where you belong. Where you belong and what you're supposed to be doing. Like almost life purpose energy. Definitely great mentorship though. Maybe mentoring. Or like a life coach. Something like you have a mentor on your side. What else for possibly a coach, or like can't even be a personal trainer too. You're getting lessons in something. You know, in July, maybe you decide to study something. I don't get like brand new start, but I definitely get a sense of work is bringing about a balancing and a lightness and a freeness for you. And others are very, very much able to see this. They're talking about it. I definitely get regarding a home or just like where you feel connected overall, which can be a destination. Maybe you feel called to go to a certain destination. I know for me, and the only reason why I bring it up is because of the pyramids in the background, but I want to go to that, the Egyptian museum in Egypt. God, the one that just opened, like that would be a place where you just inherently feel connected and you get like downloads from source the way this is showing it, you know. And it doesn't have to be you go to Egypt, whatever that is for you. It can be the mountains, or it can be I don't know, the fucking desert somewhere, and you do like a spiritual, some sort of spiritual journey, but it brings about comfortability and messages. Feels like you're flying high. The star. It's healing. Oh my God. August is going to be so healing. Not that like none of the other months are, but like, because you have the Hierophant again in June. This is a long-held goal of yours that you get to achieve, or at least you get to start planning on it. Like, there's no longer like hoping and praying for it. It's like, now is the time to do it. Oh, we love that. Oh my gosh, you're gonna have so much fun in August. Oh, we love this energy. Okay, so then how do we end out the first half of 2026 for Geminis? What's going on regarding this come September for them? What can they expect in September? The Magician. Whatever journey you go on or whatever trip you take this summer, it opens up like your third eye. Like it kind of gives you even more clarity about what you want and what the direction is that you're heading in. This is your own energy. You know, Magician, Gemini. You just feel so whole. That's what I was trying to explain. There is a wholeness. And this is not like, it's not some sort of small thing. This is life-changing in a way. Big energy. Huh. Oh my God, I'm so excited for you, Gemini. And for myself. I'll claim it for myself too. I am a Gemini sun. And I would love to take a vacation. But yeah, it's life-changing in a way. Hopefully you're starting to plan this. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm sort of seeing May in a different way. Maybe you kind of feel like you want to travel with somebody and maybe that somebody isn't able to join you. And so you decide to take this trip on your own and it ends up being like the best thing you could possibly do for yourself. I kind of feel that way. Like you wish you could have had somebody to experience this with, but I think the journey is meant for you to do this on your own. You know? Okay, what's going on for Gemini? Staying in line with the storyline, what can they expect in September? September for Gemini. Love this for you. It's very exciting. Okay. Seven of Swords. But walking away from the Seven of Swords, I feel like this journey you take for yourself sort of alleviates the need for any sort of okay. When I came back from my first overseas trip right out of college, it was so life-changing that when I came back to the role that I was doing, which at the time I was a bartender, there was this sense of the world is too big for me to be in this position any longer. So much so that it propelled me into really wanting to get a quote unquote big girl job at the time. And I kind of feel like that, your perspective around sort of where you're headed and what you've outgrown, which is a lot of this, I don't know, I just get a lot of just maybe you were working or just surrounded yourself with a lot of people that have truths, saying what they need to say just in order to get their way or to get something out of you. You walk away from that. unapologetically, possibly even like quietly too. You know, I get like what do they call it nowadays? When like Gen Z or millennials are like quitting jobs, it's like the silent, what is it? Silent quit or like silent ghost? That's what I get from this. It's like a silent exit that you're making come September. You're just like, I don't have time for this. Like, this is not what I want anymore. Like, I'm better than this. Or at least like you begin to have that notion for yourself. And as a part of the sword mentality, you're internalizing a lot. You're thinking through things a lot. Maybe thinking through how to exit. Ace of Pentacles. Yes, that's exactly it. You're thinking about how to exit what it is you came back to in order to manifest this new beginning for yourself. With a King of Cups. Maybe you decide for yourself that you don't there's some sort of like reconciliation with a person of your past, like a King of Cups energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. No, I more so get that this is all about in September, you are silent exiting the world you have known so that you can have a new beginning that feels comfortable and confident. Like you feel confident in that. Like your emotions, like you have reconciled your emotions about it. So I believe what once gave you so much happiness that like you were working on so passionately with a group of people, with whatever information comes to light this June, July, you go on like somewhat of like an excursion, some sort of spiritual journey where you get enlightened. And by the time you come back, you do this silent exit that you don't feel bad about. I mean, it doesn't mean like you're actually like ghosting everyone in your world, but no, like you're owning your feelings. You're just like, no, this is I'm done. And I'm just gonna go ahead and head this way. I mean, we love you being in this energy. This means that you are owning your thoughts, your feelings, like, and you're unapologetic about it. Like, you know who to feel compassion for, who you want to keep around you, like who is good for your emotional or like your mental state. You're not confused about anything. Yeah, you're not confused about like what you want, like what brings happiness to you, what's like emotionally fulfilling to you. You're no longer having to defend yourself about that. Well, this is great. Pleasures, when they go beyond a certain limit, are but punishments. So, yeah, there's something you're definitely having to reassess and walk away from something that brought you so much joy and pleasure and excitement. By way of some sort of like legal matter. There's a judgment that gets rendered for sure. And yeah, you're just like unapologetic about possibly even what you said, but also unapologetic about where you're going. And that's exciting. So I hope that this was helpful for you. It gave you a little bit of insight into the future and that you get excited about this. I'm not saying that like the summer isn't going to be difficult, as it, you know, it can be, especially when truths are coming to light, or you're even having to speak the truth too. Possibly, I don't know, taking the stand. You know, this can be like an oath. You know, like you're having to speak the truth in a court of law. I'm kind of gravitating towards that in June. So be aware that this is coming up and that you will be expected to take ownership of whatever role you played. So let's hope you're on the right side of the law there. I love you, Gemini Collective, and I look forward to seeing you for the second half of 2026. Don't forget to check out your moon and rising signs. At New World Angel, you can check that out under education, and there is a link to go and get a birth chart reading. So I hope you find that helpful, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.